Yes, absolutely. Let me do that in just 1 second.
I was just saying to Regan, I don't usually do events like this much. So it's usually on stage with a big crowd. And the it's interesting because I just found recently, and I was sharing this with Regan, that I find that I don't enjoy the one-to-one as much as the big events. I get a buzz from the big events.
Thank you very much. That's been a while.
It's a pleasure. Really nice here. First time in Bali? Or?
Yeah.
Thank you. Cool. Yeah, so, I don't know how I got into this whole speaking, coaching industry. I think it was kind of like by chance. I didn't go into this to make money, but now we make a lot of money. And yeah, I built a noodle bar franchise. I built the largest tire and steel recycling company in the UK. So we did about 46,000 tons of. It's not that exciting, rubber tires, rubber and steel. And I guess I made my money through businesses. And then I went to one event. Richard Branson was speaking there. I went to watch him and learn from him. And he was speaking on the third day. I was on day 1, day 2. I didn't know when he was speaking. And day 3 was my best friend's wedding. So I couldn't make day 3. So going to day 1, day 2, I seen a bunch of speakers and I was like, wow, this is interesting. People can just speak on stage and make money. I thought, never thought about that before. And then come to day 3, I couldn't make it, so I missed Richard Branson, but it led on to everything else that has happened. So going from, that was only 3-4 years ago. I'm a newbie in this industry, but a lot has happened because what was interesting, and I really love this quote when Steve Jobs says you can only connect the dots looking backwards. A lot of the time we make decisions. We don't know why we make those decisions, but things just pan out in a certain way. I went to see Richard Branson, I seen other speakers speaking in this personal development thing I was not aware of at all. And then I said, okay, I want to do that too. So I seen also a guy called, have you guys heard of T. Harv Eker? Also seen a guy called T. Harv Eker there. And I was like, okay, interesting. And then he did this offer, everyone went. And I thought, that's crazy. We can just speak for like an hour and like thousands of pounds can be made like that. So I thought, wow, that would be cool to be able to do. And then what happened was, I went to a speaker training, because I used to be a shy boy in school. So quiet, so really, really scared of speaking in front of people. Went to speaker training, and I loved it. And then I started my first event. This was only 2 years ago. My first event was terrible. We put 30K, got the hotel room, got everything together, and then I registered a load of people, around 100 plus people, on a free event. A lot of people look at me today, they say, Eric, it was easy for you in this industry because you're a successful entrepreneur. People obviously want to listen to you. And that's because I teach a lot of people who maybe not millionaires, but they just have a message they want to share out there. But I say it's not to do with a millionaire at all, seriously, because being a millionaire, I invited 100 people for free to come to my event. And I thought, great, put 30K towards this event. And then in the end, one person showed up. And then at that event, they showed up, and then all the way till the start of the event, and then we thought, no, we can't hold this event, it's ridiculous. There's me and my business partner at the time standing on stage, there's one in the audience. So we thought, no, let's just give them some incentive and tell them we'll do a one-to-one free coaching for them instead. So we cut it short, we cut our losses, we cancelled the other 2 days. Then our second event, we did the same thing again, but we got 350 people registered on a free event. And they came in, and I thought, okay, great, now time to sell something, offer some products. Went on stage, I was so lousy at closing. I went on stage, we didn't close anything. I must have closed about, I don't know, 2K in products, and we made another 20-something K loss. But I was okay at the time because it was like, oh, this is it's okay. I got some great photos out of it. Got to post it on Facebook for positioning. But what's interesting was, from that moment, I thought there's a few things that I needed to get right. Number one is, what is that product? Giving the product what the market wants or what they need. Basically, the questions that people ask, and this is something, there's a guy called Art Williams, I think he puts it really nicely. He says that how he imagines people. If you want to serve people, how he imagines is when people are walking around, to imagine a sign on top of their head, and that sign to say what they are thinking, their problems. Let's say they're thinking, I want to make more money, or I want to lose more weight, or whatever it is, right? And just imagine that sign's there. And your marketing and your product just needs to be how to lose more weight, or how to make more money, or how to free up your time, right? And so I started looking more into what people want and need. So number one is the message, which I think Regan's been working with you guys on. Number two is then the positioning. The positioning is, you know, I worked a lot on positioning. I'll share some stuff with you today about that. Positioning. The third thing is visibility. And the final thing is conversion. How to close from stage. Now 2 years on, every weekend for me is a six-figure event. I've been doing it consistently for the last a year and a half. And it's fun. It's fun when you speak for 3 days and you make six figures. But it was an interesting journey getting there, you know. And now I think greatest thing, I had a really interesting 90-minute pitch, 90-minute speech. This was around 4, 5, 6 months ago. And I pulled in 120k pounds, yeah, so about 150 US dollars, I think, 150,000 US dollars in 90 minutes. Which then I thought, wow, this is a little bit fun now. And then from then, and again, I say you can't connect the dots looking forward, but you can only connect it looking backwards. And what was interesting was, now I'm going to be featuring, you guys heard of Shark Tank?
Yeah.
So I'm going to be a shark in Shark Tank Asia. And as a result of speaking on stage, the visibility, someone approached me. So it's broadcasting in March, out to 35 million people. That's a whole new showbiz thing, it's a whole new thing. But again, why did that happen? Is because back then, I was stuck working in my restaurant. I just wanted to see Richard Branson. Think about that for a second, and everything just connects now. And yeah, it's just, and now I've been asked to speak here.
Yeah. It's awesome, and we're super grateful. So, do you want to share a little bit with these guys? Who here, by the way, would like to do some speaking at some point offline? Okay, cool. So if they're kind of starting out and they're looking to maybe get speaking engagements, what are some of the key things that they should be doing in order to make it happen? Because I think a lot of people go, I'm going to be a speaker, and then they just like sit there and wait to be invited somewhere.
Okay, I'll share with you a really, really cool thing. This stuff just works. I've helped a lot of people do this as well. So the first thing, if we look at the first thing being positioning, then what you want on your website, let's say. So I think a lot of the things I did on my website, and a lot of people I teach other people to do on their website, is really based on positioning. So I don't do so many of the conversions on the website. Okay, although some things happen there, but most of the conversions are just on landing pages, right? And so when I mark it out, it goes to a landing page. But on my website, I just use to purely for positioning. So what that means is there's a few things that I think is really important on your website. And one is the bio. I don't know if all of you have your story written up as you have a story. And in a story, I feel like basically everybody has a very compelling story. Just depends how you tell it. A lot of people come up to me and say, Eric, you've got such an inspiring story. No, it's because I know how to tell it well, right? And so it's about having that low point in there, so the pain, and it's about having the pleasure. As long as you have the pain and the pleasure, it creates a hook. That's what hooks the mind. So in terms of the bio, we write this compelling story. So basically it starts off from where you are. Today, I'm the most happiest person in the world. But only 3 years ago, I was stuck doing something I didn't love, for example. And I learned the ABC strategy, and today I get to travel the world, da 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 da. So it goes up, down, and then back up. I think that's the best way to put the bio, and it's compelling, it's inspiring. So we take the bio, and then the second thing is the photos. Now, in terms of the photos, I think it's about speaking gigs. So let's say even you guys just standing up here, just sharing some stuff. But I think it makes a big difference, because if you get a photo from there, and then you put it on your website. Me standing here alone, holding a pen, makes a big difference in positioning. People look at that and think, who is this person? So the more places you can get speaking, the better. And how do you get places speaking? You go out and you hustle for it. What I did was I literally went to every networking event. And like I said, a lot of people look at me today and think it's easy for you, Eric, because you are whoever you are. Right? But I am whoever I am now because I've got that positioning myself. But at first, nobody wanted to listen to me. I would go to a networking event, I would say, hey, I remember one of my first networking events, I said to Julie, I said to the organizer, I said, Julie, I said, can I just share a few words? She says, oh, sorry, Eric, it's like, it's getting late now. Is it okay if I just share a few words? Please, can I share a few words? She says, okay, Eric, but please make it quick, And then I just get up, it's a networking event, just think about this for a second. And it was very uncomfortable for me because I had a big fear of public speaking just a few years ago. And I just went up, I started speaking, and I got somebody to take a photo for me. This is all your positioning here, right? This is all earning the right. So I got someone to take a photo, got a bunch of photos, and I just put on my Facebook, I said, really nice to be sharing at whatever networking event. And I did that everywhere I went. I just didn't have the fear to ask. I held a mastermind trip just last month in Vietnam. I had one of my clients. She's a coach as well, and she's just trying to position herself. I said to her, we went to this big building, the financial towers, and there were some people doing some corporate events. And I said to her, I said, Katie, go up there, ask for a speaking gig, ask to speak. She says, no, she said, I can't speak. Why would they let me speak? And I said, just ask to speak. They said, well, what are they talking about? I said, and then she read it, said, they're talking about health and safety. Health and safety policy. She said, health and safety policy, what am I going to speak about? I said, just talk about health and safety. She said, but what do I speak about? I said, it doesn't matter. We'll get some photos for you, put it on your website. It looks good, right? And then she said, oh, I can't do that. They won't let me on. I went over to them. I just said, hey, by the way, we've got an international speaker, obviously international speaker. And by the way, most of you will be international speakers too because you're stand up and speak here in Bali today. So it's instant, right? My first international speaking gig was out in Kenya when I was speaking to the kids, right? So I said to do that, and what happened was they said, okay, but who is Katie? I said, you don't know Katie? She said, no, I don't. She's a big motivational speaker. I think it'll be nice. You can add some value here. They said, okay, let me speak to the team. They spoke to the team. They said, okay, she can go on. And then they came back and they said, does she have any slides? I said, no, she'll be okay without slides. She went up, she did a 10-minute speech, and they got everyone to follow her, and done. Boom. Photos again, right? Now she spoke in the financial tower in Vietnam. So you start gaining all of this stuff, and some people, I remember back then, somebody in this industry, they told me, they said, Eric, understand one thing. They said, PR, they said perception equals reality. Right? Perception equals reality. Now, I mistaken that in the past because I thought perception equals reality. Doesn't that mean you're faking it and it's not actually real? But what I found now is that perception becomes your reality. It actually becomes it's my reality today. I'm an international speaker, I'm an author, I speak on all the biggest platforms. Last year I was in Vietnam speaking on the same stage with Richard Branson, all of these 5,000 people. But where did that come from? That came from the perceived value, and then it becomes the real value. And I couldn't digest that at the beginning, because I was like, the whole fake it till you make it, that seems so wrong and so fake, that's not even who you really are. But then it really becomes you. It really does. And so I started looking at a lot of actually, all your major brands, for example, even your luxury brands. If you look at how they started, they will be just some designer decided to, price their dress at 22K. And at that time, they're probably laughing to themselves and thinking, nobody's going to buy this, right? So that's perceived value. That's perceived value just there. I know this because now we've gone into fashion as well. So we're going to be in next year's Paris show, which is really cool. So all this perceived value equals real value. And so the photos are all there to do that. And then the next thing is really, really cool, which is the pricing. Now, on this part, what I did was I put my mentorship price. Okay, so you can call it a platinum mentorship or call it whatever you want to call it, right? And this platinum mentorship, what I did back then is I put 80K for the year. And at the same time, I was like, nobody knows who I am. Why would anyone ever pay 80K? But let's just do it, right? This is that perceived value at first. Then the next step, how to get these speaking gigs, right? And how to start getting the database and how to start getting clients. Really, really cool. So what I would do, this is that perceived value. The second part of it is Facebook. I'm not so big on Twitter. But I do a lot of stuff on Facebook. So website being one of the perceived values. The second thing is Facebook. Now, Facebook, everybody has an account here, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And what's the average number of friends on your account right now? 700. Yeah, 700. 1500. So understand this for a second. So if we have like, let's say, you can make like a Facebook public page. If you make a Facebook public page, you need to get likes, you need to get followers, you need to sponsor pages out there to get likes and stuff, right? This stuff all costs money. But one very, very simple thing on your personal account is just to max out your friends. Now it maxes out at 5,000. Now, so what does that mean? It means you just add friends. You're thinking, who do I add? Just add mutual friends. Right? You add. And when you add this, what happens? These 5,000 friends becomes, this is free leads. Think about it for a second. If you just went over and you maxed it out, adding 5,000 friends, when you put a post out there, suddenly that will reach out to a lot more than what you're reaching out to now. But how much did it cost you? Nothing really. You just add friends, that's all. So in terms of your reach, it really, really helps, right? More people share, and this is free. You don't need to pay for this promoted stuff. So you just add 5,000 friends. Now what's really interesting when that happens is when you're maxed out, a lot of mutual friends, people will start trying to add you. Now when people try to add you, they can't add you. It says, sorry, whoever is maxed out on 5,000 friends, but you are now following whoever. Now think about that for a second. Suddenly you're nobody, and then suddenly you've got followers. Right? This is all instant. Okay? But just a tip on this, don't try to add 5,000 in a day because Facebook suspend you if you get too many.
Facebook jail.
Yeah, Facebook suspend. It's not,
We're calling Google Labs now.
Don't put too many messages all at once either because you'll go to Facebook jail for that too. It's not good.
I mean, it's not the end of the day. It's just like a temporary suspension.
Get released.
Yeah. But what I would say, just every day, just click add to 10, 15 people, right? And then just gradually, through time, through the next few months, you'll have a few thousand. So that's one thing on positioning. People try to add you, they suddenly follow you. Now think about this for positioning as well. When people add you, it says your friends are maxed out. You're thinking, who's this? This is a very popular person, right? That changes the perception. And also, you're building up followers. Now think about this on the banner. What I would put is I would put a banner with you. This is everything, your banner picture and your profile picture, right? On your banner, maybe you speaking in front of people, even just standing here and speaking, right? Because it's a different perception. You put it on there, and then you can put a little, you can edit a little writing on it, which says, Facebook friends maxed out, 5,000, please follow my fan page. Right, then that becomes your public page. So when people land on your page, the immediate reaction is, wow, who is this person, right? All the positioning's there. The next thing, into this your personal page, if I look at your public page, okay, one thing is this, if you take your public page and you're just starting it out, how many of you have public pages here? Right. If you're just starting out and you're trying to get likes, a lot of people, get 30 likes, 100 likes, 500 likes, something like that. But if you get like 500, 600 likes or even 1,000 likes, it's not really that compelling for people to think, wow, let's follow, right? It's when you see a page, sometimes you see a page, it has like 100,000 likes, you look at it, you just want to follow, right? You don't know who it is, but it seems someone good, so you would follow. But if it had 500 likes, you'd be like, this is probably some newbie starter person, right? So what some people try to do is then they will sponsor or promote their page to the demographic they want to promote it to, so where they think their clients are. It costs a lot of money to get likes that way. You'll do it for a while and you'll get like, I don't know, 3 likes a day or something, and it won't really be worth your time. So how do you do this? I would work on perceived value first, and then sponsor to the target market you want to sponsor to. So what does that mean? It means you can sponsor to, for example, Philippines, Bangladesh, Vietnam. It's believed that Facebook, now we might get banned on this one, it's believed that Facebook have pig farms. And what that means is they have people who are real, it's not fake people, they're real people who like, right, but they get paid to like. But then you're paying Facebook to promote it. If you promote your page for, let's say, $7 to $11 a day, in 1 week time you'll have a few thousand likes, right? So when you have a few thousand, that's your first perceived value. Now you have a few thousand likes. Now, once you've had the few thousand likes, then you take your page and then you promote it to wherever your target market is. Now it's more likely to get likes now. Does this make sense? Because they're looking at it, they think, oh, it looks pretty good.
So you're saying target the Philippines, Vietnam, and Bangladesh, and no specific interest, like literally just target the
It's not important, man. This is just perceived value.
My point is that, like, yeah, so ultimately people in the Philippines, Vietnam, and Bangladesh, they just like things like crazy.
They will. You do $7 a day, you do it for a week, you see it. A few thousand
and
likes.
it's literally just set the country and nothing else.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can set some interest, it still works, it's the same.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
So that's what I would do on the public page, and then what you do is you can take your friends list as well, you can re-invite them, invite them all to this page here, too, right? There's a code that you can get, you can search on Google to invite them all at once rather than pressing the invite on each one. Yeah. So if you get the code, you find it on Google, paste the code in, it invites your whole friends list. But it's better to do it when this is maxed out. So max this out, then invite them all at once to this page. Because these are the real people floating around here. Alright? So this is all the positioning side. Now the positioning's there, now what do you do? This is one of the coolest, one of the most amazing strategies that it really, really works. And you'll be able to see how this works. In terms of speaking gigs. You're just starting out, no gigs, nobody really wants you to speak there. What do? I would write a letter, okay? You can write a letter, you can write emails. And what you would do, let's say for example, back then, I branded myself as a business and sales coach. So, my letter will go out to, is anybody working with corporates here? No? Okay. So, we go corporate to get our positioning. And what does that mean? It means, back then, what I thought is, okay, if I'm doing sales, I'm doing business, I'm doing sales, and the first people I thought of to target in corporate was like car garages, let's say Toyota, Honda, all those, right? So what I did was I sent letters and I sent emails out to all the car garages I just found on Google, right? All of them nearby and in close by cities, and I sent a letter out to them. And then that letter or that email, the subject will be something, for me, it was the month of giving, okay? So what I wrote is the month of giving. Now, the reason I put the month of giving was because that was the reason for the offer. The reason for the offer. It said, the subject was the month of giving. Now, inside the email, what it said from there was, it said, hey, manager, whatever the manager's name is, this is Eric's PA, whoever Eric's PA is. This is Eric's PA, and I'm writing to you because Eric's going to be Erico is going to be in the area from whatever date to whatever date. Give them 2 weeks or something. And right now, and because this month is the month of giving for Eric, he's decided to give 5 corporate companies free sales training. Free sales training. And then you have a link to your website on that. Now, when they receive it, most people will be like, who the hell is Erico? They click on the link, they look, whoa, that's who Erico is. 5,000 friends, thousands of followers, wow, photos, wow, 80K for coaching? His coaching is 80K. He's going to come into our place and deliver free training, right? Now, obviously,
my hacks before. like we just did hacking the media and hacking books and like
Now, obviously, most of them will still say no because they're like, I still don't know, we're not quite sure. It's a numbers game, right? So I reach out to all of them, but one really, really cool thing. Once one says yes, then you can get the rest off leverage. So What that means is, I did this. The month of giving, I wrote this email. I said they're going to offer it for free. But make sure to reply fast. You still need a clear call to action, right? And you need to give that limitation, that scarcity, otherwise they won't react fast, right? Don't let them think about it. So I say, please make sure to reply fast, because the space will get booked up very quickly. Then what happens is someone will email you back. It's a numbers game. You just go down the list of Google, find all corporate, anyone, right? I got JP Morgan, got me in as well. But these are all big names. So I went in there, I did my first one in Toyota. It was terrible. Like I'm saying, my presentation was terrible because I was a newbie speaker. I didn't know what I was doing. It's a little setting like this. I was very nervous. I was like, I hope they're going to enjoy this, right? Now, international speakers needing to show up and play up, right? So I went up, I delivered. At the end of delivering, I think everyone looked very bored. I was like, okay, it's okay. At least I got some photos. So I had someone come with me again, photos and videos. This is all social proof then, right? Then at the end, I asked if anybody, if you can ask for testimonials, always ask for testimonials, right? Could anyone just leave me a testimonial? And let me tell you something with testimonials, people will always be kind, most people. So even if it was quite boring, they'll tell you, what did you learn from it? They'll find some pieces, right? Then you just cut and edit which parts of the testimonial you like. So you take that. Now what's really interesting? On my website, I changed one thing. I add the Toyota logo. Now what do? I emailed, this is exactly what I did. I emailed Honda and I said, hey, by the way, month of giving, and we just finished with Toyota, would you like your free sales training too? And they said yes. I leveraged off one, the other. Okay? That's how I got it. Now, with this, think about this, your positioning shifts very, very quickly. This can all be done in a month. Suddenly from nobody to somebody is a month's time. This positioning is there. After the positioning, now what do? Everywhere I go to speak, I say, oh, I work with Toyota, I work with Honda, I provide training for this, that, and the other. And then a lot of the big events started to ask me to speak. 1,000 people, 1,500 people, just kept rocking up. But let me tell you something. Every time I was rocking up, because I don't know where, are any of you speakers here? Like you speak on stages?
Yeah.
Right? Cool. Now, for me, I wasn't. I was very scared of this stuff, but you just keep showing up. You do it so many times, you just don't have that fear anymore, you know? And I was just showing up. And what was interesting was this. I find that things, they kind of like, they work in cycles. It's really interesting because there's a few things. There was, in the UK, it's not called Shark Tank, it's called Dragon's Den. There's a guy called James Caan, I don't know if you guys have heard of him before. So he's one of the dragons. And what happened was during that year, there was an event with James Caan on, and I looked at it, I thought, wow, that's really interesting. And then I got asked to speak at that event, right, alongside James Caan. I thought, that's really, really cool. And then I remember sitting there before, because I was before him, and then I was sitting there waiting for my slot, and I was thinking, wow, it's actually really cool to be a dragon. Because, wow, you just, like, all you do, you just go on, you invest in some companies, and you get so much visibility, people pay you so much money to speak. Well, it's really cool to have that. And then, a few months ago, I got asked to be a shark on Shark Tank, and I thought, that's really interesting. The other interesting thing was, so 3 years ago, I went to see Richard Branson speak. And then last year, I got asked to speak on the same stage as Richard Branson. Everything just works in cycles. It's really interesting. So what are we doing? Positioning, again, the client in now. This is a really cool thing. So how do we, let's say, does anybody run events or workshops or anything here? Okay. So how I do it is, say I leverage off this. By the way, this year, it's a lot of hard work. I say it's simple, right? Simple but not easy, right? So it's simple in the sense that the method is very simple, but is it easy? It takes a lot of your work. I spoke at 72 events on my first year.
I was about to say, so how long did you speak for free for?
The whole year. Yeah.
Right, so a year.
Yeah. The whole year. So I just went out there. I was speaking. I was speaking for free. I was literally begging for these speaking gigs. You know, it's like, oh, just let me share a few words. Give me a 5-minute slot or 20-minute slot. You know. And I got on all these 72 events. Now after the 72 events, the second year. Now I say I'm a newbie speaker, but I've surpassed a lot of people who've been in this industry for like 30 years, right? And the reason behind it is because I just went out there, I just got all these gigs, I got all the leverage, got all the big companies behind me, and then the second year, a lot of people just started reaching out to me. But what you need to remember though when you're doing all these speaking gigs is to always do some sort of call to action. Don't just go just for some fun. So if you're allowed to sell or offer something, offer something. And what I would offer is I would offer to a free workshop or free event, right? And because it becomes a no-brainer for people, but if you want to offer free, I would say, from my advice, it would be something like offer it on a no-show fee. This is what we do. On all of our free events, we do a no-show fee of £100, let's say like $100 or something, right? So what that means is you can have it for free because you guys have been awesome. Except I just ask one thing is that there's a £100 no-show fee is placed down, just so that you show up. As long as you show up, you get that money back, right? Because it's very unpredictable otherwise. You don't know how big the hotel rooms are booked, you don't know anything. Now in London, when we run free events, we need 11,000 registrants for 1,000 people in the room. 11,000. But it's unpredictable. Sometimes it's 11, sometimes it's 15. So you don't know that number. But when we do this, we find that at least 90% of the people show up when you do this. Yeah. So this is what I do. I go to all of these places, whether it's networking events, whether people didn't want you to speak, whether you see some people speaking, you say, hey, can I just share a few words? Just stand in front of everybody. Every time, if the promoter, if the event organizer allows you to offer something, then by all means, offer an event. It's going to happen maybe backdated 6 months' time or something, right? So you've got plenty of time. Every event that you speak at, you're going to be pulling all the people there. And so you offer the price. When you offer the price, you need to give the price. You need to give the price of the event, then sell the value. Okay. Have you done anything on closing and stuff?
No, it's tomorrow. So you go for it.
Yeah. So for example, if let's say it's a $500, let's say it's a $500 event, then I need to sell the value of $500, and then I give them this offer, right? Because you've sold the value of this, that becomes a no-brainer. So they go for this over the next 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, everywhere you're speaking, every weekend I was speaking. And suddenly, 6 months later, I have 300 people registered. Does this make sense? Out of nowhere. And I'm just leveraging all the way. But the crucial thing at the end of all this is knowing how to close. Because if you don't know how to close, then you'll just be having a party. it'll be a big loss as well. So.
Right. You can also go from stage to all your online stuff as well. We've been talking about as well.
I think when you go to events, yes, you can offer a workshop, you can offer an event. The minimal thing you want to do is some sort of data capture. Some event organizers might say you're not allowed to do that. Then just get them to follow you on Facebook at least you've got something.
And this comes back to our point about the website and your right. Yeah. Cool.
Awesome.
That was a long ass answer to your question.
That was great. It was perfect.
I'm never very good at Q&As because I'm a speaker.
Yeah, I know. That's great. Your answer. Was this useful, by the way?
Yeah,
It's helpful. Okay. I want to jump a little bit. We're actually having a conversation yesterday about calling in your ideal tribe and meeting them where they're at and talking to them firstly around what they think they want and then giving them what they actually need. And we're having some pretty deep conversations, I guess, around like how do you do that in a way where you call in the right people and share your message and your products and your stuff, but without losing them. And I'm looking at you because this was your question. And I said you do that really beautifully because I find that you work with a lot of like super successful business people, and then on the back end you really give them a lot around like consciousness and all of that side of things, which they are probably pretty averse to in the beginning. So do you want to talk through maybe the mindset or strategy around how you do that? That's a loaded question.
What was the question?
So is this your question?
Yeah.
Is that making sense?
Yeah.
Do you want to explain it from your stuff because that might make more sense?
Yeah, so we were talking yesterday, and so I speak a lot on branding your business, but really bridging that world for women with the esoteric brands and really about
With what?
with esoteric, not so much spirituality, well I guess spirituality, but really about bridging those two worlds so that we can have more impact and more success in a very grounded, tangible way. So not like not too woo-woo or new agey, but really grounded and taking action from a very conscious space. And And so I was just sharing with Regan that in my events and trainings, I do share about that in the offline space, in the right setting, but online, if I spoke about some of these topics on Facebook Live or stuff like that, am I going to lose some of those influential leaders because they might not be ready for that at the front end?
And that's when your name came up, and I was like, I feel like you do this really well because you have this balance around talking about spirituality, but without going way into the spiritual side of things. And like we talked about your hashtag, like sexy spiritual, and how you're almost making it mainstream and cool, but without going into total depth.
I think the key is just balancing out, right? I think, when I first started in this, I didn't want to teach business. I said, oh wow, you can speak and make money. That's so much easier than frying noodles, This is what we do before. And then I said to a few people who were just starting out in the industry too, and I said, yeah, I want to be a speaker. And they said, yeah, cool, yeah, you should do it. And I said, yeah, so maybe set my first event. What shall we call it? Somebody said Business Systems Mastery, and that's the event I run now, 3 days. But I said at that point to my friend, I said, I don't want to do business. I said, business is really boring. I said, I want to talk about mindset. I said, Eric, nobody wants to hear mindset. They want to listen to business from you. Come on, you're an entrepreneur. I was like, okay, then I'll do it. But I think what's interesting now is that I get a lot of, most of my clients are bridging woo-woo. And it's interesting how I attract that, but I think it's because I'm just being me on my social media or whether on stage. So let's say I teach business. I can talk about sales. When I talk about sales, I say, yeah, I teach a sales strategy, but then I would say things that I believe in, which is that it's just about flow. You give out, and it comes back, and you give out, but you need to receive and give at the same time. I talk about sales in that way. And I think I talk about a lot of the topics in that way. So it naturally attracts the people who it needs to attract as well. But what's interesting, I would say, some people go really, I don't know if you call it really spiritual or whatever you want to call it, but people go, talking to angels and all that type of stuff, right? Yeah. But that's not I don't believe that's where I am, and I don't believe that's what I need right now. Maybe things will change, I don't know. But for me, how I found it is that what I do today is, number one, I attract a lot of spiritual people to learn the more grounded stuff of making money.
Yes.
But then what's interesting is I also attract a lot of just business owners who bridge onto more of a being and more of breathing and less stress and that type of stuff. So it's really nice, but that's where I am. But I don't think, it depends what you really want, because I have a client that's very similar, and she's really into talking to angels and everything. And she said, Eric, shall I do what you're doing and just bring it back down to earth a bit, to reach out to, I said, if you did that, you will reach out to the same crowd that I'm reaching out to. I said, if you want to do that, then you do that. But if you're wanting to reach to a spiritual path, then just put yourself out there, because trust me, there's millions of people out there for you too, if that's who you are.
Yeah.
But I think it's just giving out whoever you are. If you are living that balance, then just put it out.
Talk about the balance.
Yeah. Balance. So even when I'm talking about spirituality, I'm talking about breathing, for example, I still talk about breathing, and I'll talk about, think about it for a second. Most stress, for example, you may be a business owner right now, so I'll still be bringing it back to the.
So I guess it's really about, we can explore these topics, but for me, in my own journey, I had to make it tangible. I had to go, okay, I explored this aspect of myself and integrated this now, and how can I apply it to my life? How can I, because we came here for a physical experience, and I found there was a time in my journey where I did explore a lot of the woo-woo, but then I had to, how can this now impact my life? How can I be a greater person? How can I impact more people? And I think that link was missing, so I think I'm just discovering for myself, maybe it's just being me and just how I've integrated it and how I've made it more tangible. And
So it sounds like you're living that balance thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are super balanced.
But that's really nice because then that becomes your message. When I'm on stage today, that's my core message really about balance. So if I go on stage, yes, people know me as the business person, the entrepreneur. When I go on stage, I always say it's really interesting. You know, I find some people they are the business people, they are the doers, they are the people who are stuck in the doing, chasing dream after dream, goal after goal. And then you have the other people who are the spiritual people. Like, it's not about doing, it's about being. And every single day they just take their socks and shoes off, walk on grass, draw the energy from the ground, and, you know. And I said, but what's really interesting when I see these two types of people is that the business owners, a lot of them are really stressed out, right? But then they're looking at these being people, and they're looking at them thinking, you crazy people, you think that hugging a tree is going to pay the bills, you know? And then you have the tree huggers who are looking at these business people and thinking, you don't know what life is about. Life is about being. But what I found in my journey is that you can get a balance of these two things. When you can be, when you can flow, but still be able to achieve things you want to achieve. And that's really interesting. Now, so if I start a presentation with that, people are already hooked on, wow. Yeah, because that's the missing part for business people. And it's also a missing part for the spiritual people. I always say on stage, I say, why is it that I teach business, but why is it all you very spiritual woo people are coming to me? It's about the being, right? Just go and breathe. You don't need business, right? But obviously, because you guys, I'm guessing, you still need to pay the bills. And when you do, then you may need that balance. And so, yeah, I think it's a really nice, angle, really nice message to put out there.
Does it help?
Yeah.
You're helpful. Who else has questions? Eric, what do you guys want to know about speaking gigs, showing up, branded, building brand?
Did you do that first big 30K one before you did the 72 under for that year? Was that the first one that you put together, or where was that in your timeline?
That was the first one. That was stupidity. That was because I had money. I could do it, right? Is that I had money. I seen. Wow, look at Tony Robbins' event. And let me tell you how ridiculous this is. I seen Tony Robbins' event. I thought, and I said to the AV guy, that's why it cost 30K. It was only 100 plus people room, right? I seen it and I told the AV guy, I said, I want that. He said, Eric, but it's only 100 people room. I said, no, I want that. They said, those spinning lights, the go-go's? I said, yeah. He said, are you sure? Yeah. And then I said, I want me on the two screens as well, the live feed. He said, Eric, they can all see you very clearly. It's only 100 people, right? And I said, no, I want me on both screens. He said, Eric, they don't need it. They're sitting right in front. I said, no, I want the live feed. So I got everything because I could. And then it is stupidity.
It was a good lesson learned then too.
Right, and what did I say about getting out of bed before?
Oh, it makes such a great story. Come on. If we didn't do it, we
No,
wouldn't be
you
so
gotta be
physically
too paid. So
entertained.
the opposite, don't do that.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
But it was good because actually that forced me into learning how to close.
Right.
Closing was a whole experience for me. Closing is crucial. You don't know how to close it, you've got no business really. Like, and I always say, the sales part of it is probably the part that most people struggle with at first, because there's a lot of barriers going on. When you go to talk about sales, there could be a lot of psychology behind sales, and it's just like, that sounds very messed up. Are you mind manipulating, or what are you doing? But I think one belief that has really, really just helped me all the way, and even till today, and it's a very strong belief of mine, is that selling is serving. Is the whole idea that you have a message, whether it's weight loss, whether it's whatever it is, and you can empower people with it. You don't know how to sell it, keep it to yourself. Go home. It's true. Stop trying to empower people. You don't know how to sell it, keep it to yourself. Just think about it. Right? So the only way to get that message to people is knowing how to sell it. And when you understand that selling is serving, I believe that it's something that you need to do. If you're serious about helping people, it's something you need to do. And so closing was a very big journey for me because I had a big barrier at first with this. Because because going on to stage, closing, there's a lot of psychology, a lot of mind stuff, a lot of even the eye contact and the way you say certain things to create anchors, NLP, hooks, framing, pre-framing, and all this type of stuff. And when I started to unravel this whole thing, I was just like, man, this industry's really messed up. It's like so many people going on stage just for the sake of closing. But I was learning it. I was learning it, and I got really, really good at it. Really, really good. To one day, I was invited, I won't say the name of the event because we're on live. I was invited at a big event with a very big speaker, motivational speaker, and it was a multi-speaker event. And I remember I was backstage, and when I was backstage, I met the other speakers. And the other speakers, all they were saying, all these apparently millionaires and everything, all backstage, the whole conversation was, how are you going to close the room? How are you going to close the room? Oh, what did you do? Oh, I got to stand up and brush in the back. What are you going to do? Oh, I'm going to do this close. And I was just back there for half an hour listening to them before I went on stage, and I was like, this is really wrong. I feel like I'm in some scum industry or something, right? Just talking about how to close the room. And I remember doing that event, and I was terrible. I was terrible at that event. I got like 2 sales out of 1,000 people. And then the week, because I was feeling really off already from the whole conversations, the week after I had another room, 1,500 people. And I said to my best friend at the time, I said, this is going to be my last event. I said, I've done it, I've been on big stages, I've had enough. This is really weird industry, really weird people. And I said, I don't like how all this framing and all this stuff. Someone told me back then, they said, Eric, give them just enough, but you can't give them everything, because otherwise they won't buy, right? So just sell them the needs. I said, and I used to say, but that's wrong. I said, Eric, you're not going to get any sales if we don't do it that way. I said, okay. But then at that event, I said, it's my last event. And then my friend said to me, go up there, just enjoy. Just enjoy. Don't think about closing. Just enjoy. Just have fun with the people. Do what you want to do. Call it your last event. Do it. I went up there. I had a lot of fun. Even I was just off structure really. I just went up there and I said, guys, and I started the event by just saying, guys, I'm so blessed to be here. I love you all. I really love you all. And I just want to share, what do you guys want? They told me what they want. I said, okay, this is how to do it. This is how to do it. That's how to do it. That's how to do it. 90 minutes later, and then because I had an event which was that would be my last event then, so my last fulfillment event. It was a 3-day event. I said, anyway, I've got an event, it's in 2 weeks' time. If you're interested, then just speak to our team. Literally in that type of thing after the whole delivery. And then everyone, that was my 120K in 90 minutes. It was my biggest close ever. And from that moment, I figured something else out, which was a little bit to do with, I guess, more spiritual balance side, is that the greatest frequency of closing, you can learn all the strategies, which is still crucial. The structure's still there, you need to sell the value, that all needs to be there. But the greatest frequency, one of the highest frequencies, is the frequency of love. And when you can go out there, because you want to help, because you sincerely want to help, I feel that you connect to the whole crowd. It's because it doesn't matter how corrupt a person's mind can be, everybody has a heart. So when you talk from that point where it's like, okay, so what is it you really want? Okay, I really want to help you here. Here's how to do it. And you talk, people feel it, and that power penetrates us. You know, that's why today I'm, on a lot of platforms, I'm one of the biggest. I close most of the room, but it's pure love. I just give them everything they need. Yeah.
And they still want more.
Yeah.
It's never like you're gonna run out of content or run out of stuff that you need to talk about anyway.
Yeah. Well, it's just like this. I mean, this has nearly been an hour already, right? But then it's like, we're only scratching the surface, right? You can never share it all. How can you? Yeah. You try, and then the people still want more. Learn more.
Cool. Any last questions? Now's your chance. Yes.
That's good. So this is really interesting for me because I know I have a desire to speak, and I do see myself speaking on bigger stages, and so I recently just finished a tour of events in Australia with my partner, Jeffrey Slater. We did a joint tour room. I'm very, what's the word? I'm an empath, so I feel a lot of energy in the room, and people were shifting through some really heavy things, fears, blockages, and I wasn't doing so well because I wasn't managing my own energy. But when I went up and he just abandoned me on stage, and I broke down and I just shared with people how I was feeling, and there was like, you know, that heartfelt connection, and it just shifted the whole room. And then I started sharing the content that I really wanted to share, and letting go of all the sales rules, all that, and creating that connection. And yeah, it was huge. It was the people like wanted more, and I guess I want to take that to the bigger stages, and I want to. For me, it's just a message. It's just an energetic frequency, and it's not the words that I'm sharing. It's the energy that I'll embody in the space, and it'll unlock information within people. And but I guess my question to you is, how can I take, you know, I've got the pictures, I've got, you know, video footage now, I'm in the process of doing a lot of those steps, but just getting that next leap, how, you know, connecting in with event organizers, or even just getting on those bigger stages, because for me, you know, money is great because we can create more impact, but for me it's the message, and I would love the opportunity to be on those stages, to share a message.
But I think it's just being direct to big event organizers.
Yeah, just asking.
If you're going into the personal development circuit of events, the key thing the event organizers are looking for, whether we like it or not, is whether you can close from stage.
Yeah.
If you can't, we can't do anything.
Yeah.
So they always favor the people who can close from stage. So I'm not sure, by going forward with the message, your core message, which is by saying, you know, it's not about the closing, but it's about that's not going to serve them.
Yeah.
So what it is I've got this package. This is how I close it. You know, and I can help a lot of people. So that is the conversation to be had with those people, I think, because yeah, whether you like it or not, that's all they're worried about. You know, if you can't close it, you don't make any money.
Yeah. And I think I'm confident after that tour. I'm confident now that I can close. It's just taking that next leap to the bigger audiences, and not just being in Australia, like getting that international opportunity. Yeah.
I think just some things like, I don't know, on your website or on your Facebook and stuff, you have the title international speaker, because that changes things as well.
Yeah, just recently I
Yeah.
added that. Yeah.
So that changes the perception, and yeah. But I think you just find event organizers, you just reach out. That's all.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks.
Cool.
What do you sell?
Oh, I sell everything. I sell mindset. I sell business. Most of them come down with money and time. At the beginning of the funnel, have you guys looked at funnels?
Yeah.
Low ticket, mid ticket, high
Yeah.
ticket. Right? So the beginning of my funnel is more about life balance, money and time, freedom, that type of stuff. So that's sort of capture all people from there. Then it bridges out to business. So business 3-day, speaker 5-day training, a spiritual 5-day called Body, Mind, and Spirit. Those are the main things. And mentorship. I'm cutting down mentorship right now. This is what I was sharing. I said I'm not sure I really enjoy the coaching so much. So I offer 80K. This is what I'm saying. 3 years ago, or 2 years ago, I put 80K on that thing. Today, people pay 80K the year for the mentoring. And it becomes reality, you know. And then it's interesting this as well. You know, people always understand the thing as a coach is that people who pay more attention. You know, the complainers will always be the $100 people. It will always be that way. People who put more money down, they're more serious about it, and they actually take your stuff and they apply it. People who put $100 down, they procrastinate. Like, they enjoy the day and they don't really take it and use it. And you naturally, by setting the price, naturally sets the bar for what type of clients you're going to attract. You know, there are the 80 clients out there. My first gig doing 80K was out in Vietnam, and is because actually, it was actually a year and a half ago, I said that I'm not so sure about coaching anymore, it takes a lot of my time. And maybe just price at 80K where no one will pay. And I did 80K, no offers, then just 13 people went to the back. Think about that for a second. 13 people at one event ran to the back to put their name down to get interviewed for to pay 80K. That was an eye-opener for me. And ever since, it's been 80K. And now because of Shark Tank, I'm saying it's 120K, which I believe that obviously, you know, people, I'll get speaking gigs and all that stuff from paid speaking gigs. But, you know, Regan asked a question before about, you know, how long did the speaking for free stuff last? If you're just starting out, I mean, I see there's two types of speakers. One is a free paid speaker, and the second type is the enrolling speaker, someone who sells some products, offers some products. If you know how to close, enrolling speaker, you'll make a lot more money, and you'll make it a lot faster. No one can pay me 120K for an hour of speaking, but I can make that myself. And that's all knowing how to close and knowing how to close properly. Yeah. So it's like some speaking gigs today, they offer me, they say, oh, you know, I'll give you the average speaker fee for like starter speakers is what, I don't know, in UK is only like 1.5K or something like that, right? I don't know if it's the same.
It's that same, and if you're kind of getting credible 5 to 15-ish, yeah.
But even like, but that's already very credible. Like
Yeah.
5 to 15.
Yeah.
But otherwise it's like 1.5K. I always say to people who offer me that, I say, how about you don't need to offer me that, I'll come and I'll just come for free. They say, wow, really? I said, yeah. But is it okay I offer a product at the end? They say yes. Because I know from offering a product, I minimum can make 50K, you know? Minimum. So,
Cool.
What actually are the circuits that you need to speak to? Meaning, so how do you get these gigs?
where are you based?
Sorry?
Where are you based?
Australia.
Australia. Well, I guess just see who's the promoters around there. I'm guessing Success Resources are out there too.
So basically, you just go after the promoters. So you just contact the promoters.
Contact.
Especially you being female. It's like a really good.
They're actually looking for a lot. Yeah, a lot
Right.
of events are looking for more female speakers today. I think so. You just approach Success Resources. Veronica, Richard.
Honestly, love your story. Love the hacks. My freaking brother was brilliant. So brilliant.
It's been your day today.
Oh, it's so has.
That's awesome. What was your biggest takeaway? Let's go around.
Oh, from this.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Like the truth of the matter is, it is positioning. You know, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like this is how people think and work. And unless you utilize these resources, you don't make the money or the impact. There's like, you know what I mean? So to me, the biggest takeaway is the hacks. This is the science behind the curtain. This is what the people that actually do great things do. You know, and love that you shared that. It's so beautiful and generous and freaking phenomenal of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cool. Biggest takeaways?
At first it's kind of rattles my authenticity, but then when you're saying about how you then came from your heart, from love, and I think, if you always are coming from love and you're always coming from a good place, then using all of these hacks and such to get your message out is just that. It's not tricking people because you believe in your message so much.
But it's also being. Like I love it because you're pre-creative. Like you just step into, I'm already that. I'm just going to be that now. Like
Everything we've been doing.
I love the fact that you're actually, love that. It's, you're not just visualizing it. You're going, well, I'm going to visualize it and I'm going to play it. You know, and propel the creation process.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Similar like before already, but what's more really friendly for me lately is that for me it's easy to make a certain income, but then there is like this wall and a big mountain and everything that comes beyond this looks really hard and difficult, feels really hard and difficult, and what's really been shifting and inspiring from your story. I mean, I'm sure it was a lot of work you had to put in over these 2 years, but the way you tell your story
you know, there was someone on side of me that was like, I want to find my soulmate. And I'm like, I just want to be on the stage. Like, that's all. I don't care about anything else. That's all that I want to do. What are you going to talk about? I don't know. All of it.
Right.
Because what I do now, and what I have been doing for the last 6 years, is one particular thing. It's like wash, rinse, repeat. It's the same topic, just a bunch of different souls in front of me.
Right.
And it's like, now I want to take that and do something else, and just the positioning thing. I mean, I was watching and I was listening and I was like, like, can my mind get blown just a little bit more? Like, there's no mind left after today, after this morning, and now after this. But talking about, you know, the positioning and then everything, and it's like the feel of what I'm getting into. I don't know. It's just like now I've realized I can do both things.
Right.
It's cool to have someone who is a speaker. That's all that. Well, you like to do a lot more, but it all comes from that. It's really, 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 really awesome to hear this version because I get really, really excited. I don't know if you can see that there, but like, no, but this all of it. It's really awesome. I'm just gonna end there because then I'm gonna like continue to ramble. So.
You're awesome. Cool.
This is awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, just for showing me that it's possible, because in my mindset, I felt like it was 3, 4, 5 years off before I'd be able to speak on some of those stages. So just having someone lay out the path and show that it's not that hard, and if you really want it, these are just the simple things that you can start doing now. And I think this week has really shown me that I have enough skills to be doing it. Like, and I actually am doing it, but your mind plays tricks on you, and you feel like you're always striving for something else. But yeah, so thank you. That was amazing.
Definitely positioning, first and foremost. I think the steps, like kind of breaking down what you did in terms of writing people letters and the positioning with that, even just about going, well, I've landed this one, and so can I come see you after this person? And breaking it down that way was really cool.
Can I share one more? I have to say this. Is that cool? I get to do 2 awesome. I really loved what you said about selling on stage, because ultimately so many people suffer on stage and 10% is meant to be awesome, and I think 10% is abysmal. And it is true, all these, the seedings, the voids, all the bullshit, the NLP stuff, and the fact that most people end up reneging anyway because the fog lifts. And I love the frequency of sales is love, because I remember for myself going on that journey where I learned all that stuff, and it's only when I'm in my total wisdom, total giving, total just me, and there is no intention to sell, it's just purely intention to love and to give, and the conversions are off their head, and there's never hard closing, it's always like just a soft, there's always that. I love that you make that distinction. You're the first person in the industry I've ever heard say that. Everybody else seems to go, no, you have to. If you don't do this, you won't sell. So love frequency of selling is love. Love it.
That's so cool. Awesome. Did you have something else to say?
Yeah, I think you definitely confirmed some things that I've been thinking about, and kind of helped me put some puzzle pieces together, which is really helpful. And closing, like how important that is. So loved it. It was awesome.
Awesome. That's so cool. Well, thank you so much for being here on your
Thank you for having
trip, and giving up your precious time. And these guys have had massive value. And
It's nice 2 years later to have people wanting to speak at places.
now you've made it. No, but we so appreciate you, and you poured so much into these guys, and it's awesome. So obviously make sure I've tagged in Eric into the live stream, and everyone on the live stream, go follow him obviously as well. And his stuff has so much depth, and you really can just get fully immersed in it. So we love you, and thank you so much. It's awesome. Let's take a 5-minute break. You guys can grab some water, stretch your legs. Then we're talking about social media platforms and taking over the internet and blowing shit up. Sound good?
That's all.
That's all. That's all.